you guys kind of embarrassed yourself for a pretty good franchise. Bino, how about you? You found TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show. In just a few minutes, we'll be right with you with another award-winning, action-packed edition of your Tony Basilio Show. You found Radio Free Tennessee. Your Tony Basilio Show will begin momentarily. Keep it locked in right here at TonyBasilio.com and on your Tony Basilio app. And hey, do us a favor. Spread the word. Another award-winning, thought-provoking, action-packed edition of the Tony Basilio Show is coming up next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show. You found the Tony Basilio stream at TonyBasilio.com or on your smartphone or tablet. Another thrilling, chilling, and sometimes spilling edition of the Basilio Show is on the way next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Tony Basilio live with you. It's Fan Running with you on a beautiful, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Say it, know it, and write it down. John Adams Tuesday, presented by Jennifer Morris, Next Move, SmokyMountains.com. She fires me up. She focuses me. She prepares me. Tony Basilio, we're on our way down to the Music City, or over to the Music City, I should say, where tonight I'll be at the Musicians Hall of Fame as they induct yet another class, and it's going to be an unbelievable class there. John Adams is in a class all his own. John Adams, que pasa, amigo? How we doing?
Tony, do you think there's a chance that you would ever be inducted into that Hall of Fame? You are a talented musician.
No, I don't think that's going to happen, but I will appreciate things nonetheless. I want to thank the great Jimmy Woods for allowing me to, and the lovely Laura to come down and do that. And we're pumped. And tomorrow we're going to be live over at the Hall of Fame itself, which is over at the Municipal Auditorium. In the downstairs area there, they've got the hall set up there, and it's going to be phenomenal. And they have half price off admission tomorrow. But in the meantime, boy, do we have a lot to talk about. Hey, Matt Dixon, I thought about you yesterday when that Sorsby news broke. First of all, it's a human tragedy. And secondly, you've been warning us for some time about this gambling, the easy availability of it, and how there's no way kids aren't getting ensnared in it. You think it's a major, major, major thing that's occurring in our society right out from under us.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, I'm not going to call it an epidemic, but I think there's like probably a generation of like guys like my age and down to probably college age that are going to lose their livelihoods over stuff like this. And obviously, it's got Sorsby, which is a terrible thing for him.
Yep.
I think it's because it's just so easy, and we made that jump from like ESPN and like Game Day, like never talking about gambling at all, to going all in on it and having sponsors, and like it was like overnight it became like part of society and the norm. And it's just way too easy to do now, online and just with a smartphone. That I do think there's going to be a lot of people that have a lot of issues that come from gambling, and it's probably already started, but it's going to be very prevalent over the next decade or so, I think.
Yeah, when the bill comes due, so to speak, and parents realize that their kids have tapped into their funds and. Even some parents have spent themselves into oblivion, Newton John. But, John, all politics are local. And this thing, and we're going to talk about it here in a little bit, because I'm going to tie, and by the way, Darren Hedrick's going to join. He's the voice of Kentucky baseball. And the Vols have a very, very, very pivotal and important series with them coming up later in the week. We're going to take his temperature on the Cats, the season they're having. They're sort of in the mushy middle of the SEC, which is to say that when you're in the mushy middle, you're right in the middle of the national picture if you're the Kentucky Wildcats. But we're going to visit with Darren, talk to him about this upcoming series, and we'll get on to that. But this Diana Rossini story and this other story with Sorsby, John, you and I were talking with a mutual acquaintance who's kind of in the industry, who will remain nameless, a second ago, but you said something to him that strikes me as worth repeating on the air, which is this is about the integrity of these sports. And here's the thing. I want to be extremely cautious knowing that Sorsby's folks live in our area. I want to be extremely cautious knowing that he's just a young man. And I want to be extremely cautious knowing that he is not the only one. In fact, he's probably the tip of the iceberg. But this does come down to integrity, John, and what we're seeing, does it not?
Very much so. I mean, college athletes do a lot worse things than bet on games. It's we've seen athletes commit horrible crimes, all kind of stuff like that. But again, when you talk about the integrity of the game, once people can't believe what they're watching is real, then the sport has a huge problem. That goes back to the Pete Rose deal. That's why they meted out such a harsh penalty to him. In college, I think the NCAA has to do the same thing. There seemingly are no rules as far as the NCAA goes in terms of what we used to think of as tampering, all kinds of stuff right now. And you pay athletes and so forth. But the idea that players are betting on games, once people can't believe what they're watching is real, the game has a huge problem because fans are betting too. and so I don't see how I'm sorry this happened to Sorsby. He's a very talented player. I thought he was the best player in the portal.
Yes.
I was kind of thinking maybe Tennessee might even sign him out of the portal. I think he's a terrific quarterback. But he has a problem. I don't see how the NCAA can allow him to play college football again. I just don't, because it has to send a very strong message. As Matt just said, it's ludicrous to think that he's the only one betting on games, the only college football player. I'm sure it's happening all over the place because it's so easy. It used to be you needed a bookie to bet on games. And a lot of people that might have wanted to bet wouldn't go to that extent to bet. Plenty of people did, but the fact that you can do it now on your phone and it has this acceptable ring to it that you can, that this is okay and everybody's doing it, as you pointed out, everything now, it's just part of the landscape. Betting, we talk about odds all the time, sponsoring games, but you have to, sponsoring shows on ESPN and whatever. You got to send a message on this. I don't see how the NCAA can allow him to play. And the idea, if somebody is a gambling addict, to think, oh, well, he wouldn't bet against his team. Come on. If you're a gambling addict, the addiction is in charge. You aren't. And he would try to win. So he would probably bet against his team.
Well, and the other thing, too, right, about addiction is if you're truly a gambling addict, you would not only would you stoop to betting against your own team, but you would stoop to stealing from others to, there's not, like you say, there's nothing you won't do.
There's
and
no
that's where we
boundaries
kind of
anymore.
realize, and that's where we kind of realize that, hey, this thing is taking me over. You read the story and the reporting into that, they had to be so sourced in what they wrote. He basically made hundreds of bets. I mean, this is a guy that habitually gambled, and even when he was in Indiana, gambled on his own team. And then, because I'm going to get into this later on, but this Diana Rossini story, I hate to say we told you so, but there is incredible reportage out there that I'm going to link in the blog tomorrow. In fact, I might just go ahead and post it on Twitter here in a second. I sent it to John earlier today from a guy who went back and searched her timeline before she took it all down. So A.J. Brown is said to be upset in Philly, and he's always upset. You know who the first person was to stoke that out into the public consciousness? If you said Diana Rossini, you win. And do you know where Diana Rossini, the first person to link him to New England, was? If you said Diana Rossini, you win again. Now, there's a guy out there who's doing the reporting on this. The NFL has not said a word about it. And you know why? Because they don't want to deal with this. You know why? Because there is a problem with insiders doing the bidding of these coaches and these general managers, these highly paid insiders. And this, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, has been going on as long as that insider business has been a business. Now, Tony, are you that cynical? No, I'm that smart. I told you Friday that that was the unspoken issue here, that he was using her, shall we say, pumping her for information, shall we say, exploiting her for her information. And isn't it a little coinky-dinky? As we go back to the church lady and Dana Carvey back in the day, just a little coinky-dinky here. Just a slight coincidence that the first team she mentioned is the team the Eagles are allegedly going to trade him to, and the NFL ought to step in there and tell the Eagles, you are not allowed to trade that guy to New England. You can trade him anywhere you want to trade him, but you can't trade him to the guy that started this. And look, I'm not just an Eagle fan being sore about it. I'm somebody looking at that objectively. John, is that a fair read on that those two cooked this up to get A.J. Brown there? Is that a fair read on that?
Of course it's
John
a
Adams.
fair read. And this is another issue. We're talking about integrity of the game.
Yes.
Remember all the much ado about the Flake Gate with the New England Patriots? And
Yes.
England wasn't the only team doing that. But
Right.
they made an example of New England because New England was the most prominent franchise in the NFL. But this is a much bigger deal.
And they won't talk about it. John, ESPN won't talk about it because she's,
They won't talk about it.
Nobody will talk about it. No, they won't talk about it because she worked at ESPN. Tony Vitello won't talk about it because she's Italian. I'll talk about it. I think she's a disgrace to Italians. She's a disgrace to reporters. He's a disgrace to the NFL. Who was zooming who here? Somebody was pumping somebody in this relationship between these two. Matt, would you care to comment on that? Who was pumping who in this deal? I want Matt to comment on that. Go ahead, Matt.
I mean, they were both benefiting from it. It sounds like it's been going on for 6 years, apparently.
6 years?
No,
yes.
Some of the dots the people connected with her are really, really dark. Like naming her kid Mike. Like some of that stuff.
Really sinister.
Really away, way off the sports part of it to being really, really sad. But yeah,
she has issues. She's got issues.
And she's not the first, and she's not the last. She's probably not the only one. So that's
exactly
point,
right.
That's why they want it to go away.
When they move,
I think Vrabel could lose his job over this.
Who could?
Vrabel.
What?
He better lose his job over this. That's the point.
Well, Tony,
Go ahead,
what to me is so odd about this, one of the many oddities involved, is that they were out in public holding hands. I mean, that's not how you're supposed to manage an extramarital affair. And then, as Matt points out, one of her kids is named Mike. Are you kidding me? This is, I think we're going down a dark hole here. I think more and more stuff's going to come out of this, and it's going to become more bizarre as more information comes out, and more information will come out. But it's one thing. I mean, an NFL coach or any college coach having an affair, that's one thing. The fact that he was having an affair with an NFL, quote, insider, and it affects the business of of the NFL. We just talked about how
Yes.
we just talked about it, the gambling aspect with Sorsby. The idea that a gambling addict wouldn't bet against his own team, that's absurd.
And when you're
You've
playing
already
quarterback,
crossed
how
lines
easy is
here.
it? And we'll talk about it later on in the hour
course.
after we expire
Yeah,
with Darren Hedrick, because I'm going to ask the living listener, have we reached a spot now where you start asking, okay, what is real and what is Memorex in these sports we watch? And should Mike Vrabel, who coached the Titans, and I always thought it's a damn good coach, he got a team this year without a chance to get to the Super Bowl somehow. But when we come back...
Great coaching job.
By the way, may I say, Matt Gelb reporting today, the Phillies have fired Rob Thompson. The topper has been toppled. He is literally Walter Matthau. That's what he looks just like, without a six-pack of beer and without a clue. And I wish him well in his future endeavors, but he will no longer be destroying the heap that's left that we call the Philadelphia Phillies. When we come back, and another thing I want to ask later on in the hour is, did Tennessee sit out the Sorsby deal because they didn't feel like it? Or did they sit out the Sorsby deal because they knew the guy was gambling? We're going to kind of throw that into the mix and in the hunt as well. And we'll get your thoughts on it as the show expires. 865-200-5402. I know one thing. Tennessee looked pretty silly sitting out the Sorsby deal on Friday. They look pretty damn smart having sat out the Sorsby deal right now. For whatever reason, they did it. But the Sorsby thing, what a black eye. And then when it comes to, I don't know who the insider is in the Vrabel. Now we really don't know who the insider is. Is Vrabel the insider in this thing, or is she the insider in this Vrabel deal? Somebody inside that thing, somebody's inside some, you know what I'm saying? Like, the way this is working is those two are, shall we say, joined at the hip. Do you feel me? As we come back with more on the up. Do you feel that? I mean, do you feel what I'm feeling? As we come back on the other side, Darren Hedrick joins, the play-by-play voice of your Kentucky Wildcats after this.
Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776, or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Fan Run Radio, where Big Orange Country comes to talk sports. Start your morning off with your daily dose of talk sports with John Reed and Cody McClure from 8 to 11. Then it's Tony Basilio from 11 to 1. The Playbook with William Pattison from 1 to 3. And The Drive from 3 to 6. It's 10 hours of hard-hitting local sports radio every day.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Gotta love this time of the year. Hoops here, home runs over there, and you've got to get your Tennessee on. And there's only one place, the best place to shop for your officially licensed Tennessee Volunteer gear, Alumni Hall. Hands down, the best store for Vol fans. They've got the latest and greatest apparel for the entire family. Hats, man cave items, decor, and more. Get your Vols grill cover, a plate for your burgers, and of course, that chef's apron for all that outdoor grilling this spring. And accrue those rewards and watch your balance grow online or on the app. We'll see you at Alumni Hall and alumnihall.com and G to the B to the O, Alumni Hall.
Nothing reminds you of how much you rely on your air conditioner like the first really hot day in East Tennessee. Schedule Pipe Wrench Home Services' $79 seasonal tune-up now before the heat sets in. Our certified technicians inspect, clean, and fine-tune your HVAC system to help it run efficiently and reliably while reducing the risk of breakdowns when you need it most. And while we're there, we can also recommend ways to improve your indoor air quality for cleaner, healthier air throughout your home. For more than 20 years, homeowners across Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and surrounding communities have trusted Pipe Wrench Home Services for dependable comfort. And with our same-day service guarantee, you won't be left waiting when comfort matters most. Schedule your $79 seasonal tune-up today at pipewrench.com. Same-day service guaranteed, or the visit is free. Offer valid on standard systems only. Visit pipewrench.com for details.
Shout him out, shout it out loud. Ladies and gentlemen, he's East Tennessee's finest, but he works for the Kentucky Wildcats, and he does a great job for them. And he calls Kentucky baseball, and you will bow thy head when you say thy name. Darren Hedrick's back with us. And whenever he's on, he always has folks in the area listening. And Darren, I bet they're really proud of you. You know, look, if one of my kids ascended to that level in Division I, even if it was with the Kentucky Wildcats, I would be so proud of them, man. So we're proud to have you back. Welcome back, my brother. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Tony. Thanks so much for the kind words. I really appreciate it. And, yeah, there's probably a few people there in Maryville tuning in. And I know we're going to talk plenty about the Cats and the Vols today, but our good buddy, our mutual friend, John Bryce, wanted me to ask you how you feel about Brian Snitker managing the Phillies next year. You tell him that I'm going to find him in South Bend. I'm going to take some lye soap. I'm going to take lye soap, and I'm going to wash his potty mouth out. And to keep my Phillies. Hey, I'll tell you one thing about these Brave fans. Now that their guys are riding high, I'm getting all kinds of texts from them. Yeah. You couldn't find John Bryce last summer with a search warrant talking Major League Baseball, my brother. Oh, man, yeah, he wanted me to tell you hello in the nicest way possible, so I told him I'd make sure and do that.
Well, it's pretty next level because the Cats right now were in search of some new mojo, and so a bunch of these kids took the field, which I love about baseball at this level. A bunch of these kids, Kentucky heading in the wrong way, playing with South Carolina, who already speaking of terminated coaches, already let their coach go earlier in the year, the price of doing business in 2026 in sports. But they got haircuts, and it worked out fine for them. Speak to me about where Kentucky is coming into this series, Darren.
Well, Tony, they're beat up and banged up, and that's been part of the reason why. And I know coaches and programs never want injuries to be an excuse, but they are a fact and a part of the reality. And Kentucky has been decimated by injuries at the catching position. They've had to rotate guys all around the infield. I mean, look, Tony, Kentucky has only had their preseason projected starting lineup available for one game this year. They've missed their starting right fielder, Carson Hansen, for some time with a toe injury. Tyler Bell, their star shortstop, got hurt in the first game of the season and missed, I think it was about 14 or 15 games. They've played the last, I think it's 2, maybe 3 weeks without their full starting rotation. In fact, against South Carolina and Vanderbilt, only their Friday night starter was available. And the rest of the weekend across 18 innings, it was the bullpen carrying the load. And fortunately for them, Connor Madison has stepped in nicely on Sundays, but they're down to their 4th string catcher right now. They did get their backup catcher back last week, Tagger Tyson, so he was able to catch. But they've played 5 different guys at first, 4 or 5 different guys at third, 4 guys in right field, and they've played 4 players at catcher. And so you're just talking about a team that this weekend in 2 games against South Carolina, they played with 3 players available on the bench, and one of them really wasn't available except in emergencies only. So they're trying to put it together. Hopefully having the buzz cuts, and getting the win on Sunday against South Carolina will get this team trending back in the right direction. But, yeah, you're right. It's coming down to it, and they've got to start figuring out a way to win some games.
Well, and this, as we know, because I call them like they're in the mushy middle in the league right now.
Mm-hmm.
And in the mushy middle, you can get to the tournament. I mean, they've got 9 wins in the league right now. You win a series against the Vols this weekend, you've got a real opportunity to get there. I mean, I think the goal for Tennessee and them is probably to get to like 13 or 14 and put yourself like on that, on that spot where the tournament you can play your way in. Let me introduce Matt Dixon into the conversation, who covers the baseball Vols for us and has been to Kentucky several trips up there to witness Tennessee's House of Horrors in recent years up there in Lexington, even during the Vitello years, a House of Horrors. Matt, jump in here with Darren Hedrick, play-by-play voice by way of East Tennessee with the Kentucky Wildcats. Go ahead, Matt, you're on.
Yeah. Thanks for being on, Darren. Yeah, Tennessee's 2 best teams in 22 and 24. When they combined 3-3 up there, the 22 team, that's the only series they lost. And a lot of that's because it's the way Kentucky plays is a bad matchup for Tennessee. The small ball, the stolen bases, the sack bunts that puts pressure on defenses. Tennessee hasn't always been great at that. They're actually really good defensively this year, better than they have been. So even though Kentucky does have all these injuries and a lot of concerns on the mound, it's still that same small ball approach that gives a lot of teams trouble. So what is it that Kentucky's when it goes well for them? Because they've been able to salvage every series they've lost. They've at least won a game, which is big. But when it goes well for them, is it still that small ball stuff that they do where they create unearned runs and just find a way to get 90 feet here and there?
That's a great question, Matt. And, Kentucky still talks about, they call it chaos and win any way possible. But, yeah, they still will try to do bunts and steal bases. But they've been doing it in a different way this year. And I think some of the injuries and the changes to the lineup have forced them to go about it differently. Kentucky has tried to hit and run a lot more this year. They do a lot of fake bunts to try and throw the pitcher off and that sort of thing. We saw Sunday in the win against South Carolina, they executed 2 or 3 sacrifice bunts very well. Tyler Bell had a bunt single that surprised the infield. Jace Tarnish at the top of their lineup is one of the best base stealers in the country. He's got 24. The number isn't ranking at the top with 24 stolen bases, but going back to his time at St. Bonaventure, he's only been caught twice his entire career. So his efficiency stealing bases is through the roof. But you're right. Yeah, when things are going well, they're creating chaos. I'll tell you this, against South Carolina, they scored the go-ahead run with Braxton Van Cleve, the freshman right fielder. He stole second. Carolina threw the ball into center, so he got up and moved to third on the throwing error. And then the center fielder threw the ball, and it got loose past the third baseman into foul ground, and Van Cleve scored from third. So that stolen base created chaos, and 2 errors led to the go-ahead run, and they went on to win 9-5. So they're doing a lot of the things that you talked about. They're just going about it in a different way, and it's just like I said, the injuries have kind of changed what they had to do, and they will hit some home runs this year. Ethan Hindle leads the team with 8, and so that's not a huge part of their game, but they've run into their share here in recent weeks.
It's funny you mentioned Ethan Hindle. I was going to ask you about him because if you get into Tennessee's bullpen, chances are we're going to get to see one of his superpowers, which is over the weekend he got hit by his 34th and 35th pitch in his career. And I understand he's 7th place all-time at Kentucky, but Tennessee's got a kid in right. Those kids are not afraid to do whatever it takes to get on base. We've seen this Wright kid take fastballs. He's just not afraid. Is Hindle the same kind of player?
Yes, I think so. Kentucky prides itself on hit by pitches, and their motto is "we don't move." And so if you're going to pitch them inside, you better be accurate with it, because if you run the breaking ball or the fastball too far in, this is a group that doesn't really dive out of the way or spin out of the way. They're going to just stand there and take the hit. So they work walks. They get hit by pitch. I think I'll have to double check, Tony, but I know coming out of last weekend, they were second in the country in total hit by pitches, behind, I think, only Winthrop or somebody like that. So, this is a team that will take their bruises and take first base and then come what may.
I'll tell you one thing. You get to Tennessee's bullpen and you get past the Zappenzeller guy, and that number's going to increase. I can promise you that. I'm not trying to talk trash on anybody, but Friday night we had a sequence in a Division I baseball game. Matt, what was the number? 4 out of 5? I feel like 4 out of 5 dentist here. I think we're doing a Wrigley's doing a sugarless gum commercial on here. But was it 4 out of 5 batters, Matt, that got hit in a sequence, or was I imagining that?
Well, it was 3 in a row on 3 consecutive pitches by 2 different pitchers. But it was the 6 straight batters either walked or were hit by a pitch. Alabama scored 2 runs without putting a ball in play.
Wow.
So I wanted to file that away because I knew you'd want to work it into your broadcast. Yeah, it's very hard to do. And and none of them were fluky. I mean, in fact, one of the guys got hit in the head, Darren. I mean, not kidding.
Wow.
Like in the helmet. I'm not kidding.
Wow. Well, certainly our guys, I don't think it's their favorite way to get on base. It certainly wouldn't be mine, Tony, but if it allows you to get traffic on the bases, like I said, Kentucky's in a mode right now of doing whatever it takes.
Yes. Well, hey, I don't blame them. I mean, that's Kentucky and college baseball is a by all means necessary sport. The other day, Tennessee hit the ball to Alabama, and Alabama could not field it, but you still have to put the ball in play in order to force your opponent on defense to make mistakes, right? You still have to put the ball in play. You still have to be disciplined enough to not swing at bad balls if you're going to hit by pitches. I mean, it all adds up.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing right now for Kentucky. I mean, you're looking at a pitching staff. We talked about how they've had to use their bullpen a ton. But they have to figure out a way to start attacking the zone more consistently, Kentucky's pitchers. But they have allowed far too many walks and hit by pitches. Last week in 4 games between the trip to Louisville and South Carolina, Kentucky committed 10 errors. Now, one of those errors at South Carolina got changed back to a hit. So they went from having the call right to the call wrong, but they got their guy 2 RBIs. So they changed one of those back to a hit. But still, you're talking about 9 errors in 4 games, and Kentucky's got to clean those up and make plays. And really, when they lost 5 in a row, that's the thing that haunted them the most, were giving the opponent extra outs and also extra free base runners with walks and that sort of thing. And you guys know baseball, too. Even if it's not a walk, when you consistently fall behind 2-0, 3-0, 3-1, you're going to give up base runners and probably some runs because the advantage is to the hitter there. So the Cats are really placing an emphasis right now on attacking the zone, and as their pitching coach Dan Rozelle preaches to them all the time, be the tip of the spear. They want the pitchers to be the tone setters, and that's what Kentucky has to get back to down the stretch here.
The Vols visiting a struggling, a little bit scuffling Kentucky club that's really beat up as Darren Hedrick joins. He's the pride of Maryville. He's been calling their games for years. Been nice enough to join us for several years as well. Friend of the program. Real friend of humanity, even though he's calling Kentucky games. Hey, John Adams, jump in here. You're presented by Jennifer Morris, Next Move, SmokyMountains.com on this glorious Tuesday.
Darren, when you look at the SEC standings this season, I know there's things, it can be a very volatile sport, but when I look at the SEC standings, and I wanted your take on it, to see Arkansas, Vanderbilt, Tennessee, and LSU even below those teams, all in the bottom 7 of the league. What do you think of that?
That's a great question, John, and that's something we've been talking about all year. When Keith Madison, the longtime coach of Kentucky, he'll sit in on a few of the home games with me at Kentucky Proud Park, and we've been talking about that. And I don't know how much of that is the NIL just leveling the playing field in this league, and the opportunities, and the fact that we really don't have to worry about 11.7 scholarships anymore, that teams can offer basically full rides to everybody now if they have the resources to. But yeah, LSU is a huge head scratcher. I mean, I don't see a path for them right now to even make the field, and they're the defending champions. Vanderbilt has certainly come back to the pack this year. And Tim Corbin, it appears, has changed his style. They brought the fences in. They didn't do nearly the run game that we've seen them do in the past against us. It was waiting on the long ball, which I don't ever remember Vanderbilt really being that type of team. And so they've changed. You mentioned Arkansas is not having the season they've hoped to. Georgia at the top of the league has probably the best offense in the league, but I'm not sure about their staff. They're having to win games 9-7 and 10-8. And so, yeah, it's just a really odd look at the standings. And I think teams are just so even. And that's why when you get these home series, it matters to sweep or at least take 2 out of 3 when you're home, because I don't remember the league being this tight and this even across the board, where outside of maybe the Texas schools in Georgia, everybody looks kind of the same this year.
I'll tell you one thing, John, that LSU thing, you brought that up. Are those people down there, John, going to put up with that, a bottoming out season, even though they've won a national championship, or a couple of them, but it seems like that's just not something that's going to be tolerated there.
No, they're all about winning championships, and you would think someone that's won 2, as Jay Johnston has, that would make him pretty much invincible, but that's not the case. LSU sells out. They have a huge fan base, and they just expect to win at the highest level. I was talking to a friend of mine from Louisiana the other day, and he thinks Johnson's a really good coach, but he's perplexed at the results and how poor this team has been. And you're right. They don't have a lot of patience, really, in any sport right now. They've got a lot of money to throw around.
That's crazy, isn't it? Darren, isn't that crazy? You win a national championship one year and then have people mad at you the next? That makes no sense to me.
Yeah, but Tony and guys, I mean, think about this. Somebody with the SEC Network had the graphic over the weekend. It might have been in that Mississippi State LSU game they televised Saturday night, where Tennessee has been the only team in the last 5-year stretch to win the national championship and have a winning record or 500 record in the SEC the next year. You think about Mississippi State won the title, missed the tournament the next year, and that coach ultimately got fired. Ole Miss won the national championship. Bianco and company missed the tournament the next year. And now here's LSU won a title under Johnson the first time, but had a losing record in the league the next year at 13-17, and now they may not make the tournament this year. So there's something to, I guess, maybe sacrificing the following year right now to win a national championship in Omaha.
My gosh. Well, John brought up something I wanted to bring up with you, which is crowds. Kentucky. We saw Kentucky get red hot last time we were there, and there were tons and tons of people there. What kind of attendance can we expect this weekend? No Tony Vitello, no most hated team in college baseball to draw people in. The Vols have kind of calmed it down a whole bunch, too much for my blood, but anyway, that's another story for another day. From your perspective, what kind of crowd do you think we see this weekend?
I have really enjoyed our crowd so far this year. We've also had great weather for our home weekend series in SEC play, but the crowds are there. This program, these fans up here have really embraced this program and their style of play, and the fact that they've made a regional. Here's another thing that put it in perspective with Kentucky baseball guys. They've made a regional 3 straight years under Nick Mingione. That had never happened before for this program. They would make one here or there, but to do it 3 straight times has never occurred before the last 3-year run, and they're trying to make it 4 in a row. But the crowds, Big Blue Nation has really bought into this program. The crowds have been great. I expect to be another great crowd this weekend, especially because it's Kentucky and Tennessee. So I think it'll be a fun atmosphere. I will say it's going to be chilly for the folks coming up here. We've got a big weather system moving through. I think it's tonight or tomorrow. So the temps during the day will be in the 60s and lows in the 40s. But also just remember, if you're coming up for the series this weekend, it is Derby weekend in the Bluegrass. So the Kentucky Derby's running Saturday, the Oaks Friday. So I don't know how that's going to affect the crowds ultimately, but I still think it's going to be a fun atmosphere because of these two rivals meeting up.
No doubt about it. And the other thing is Keeneland is one of the great crown jewels in America. Are you, since you've been involved there, have you taken to the thoroughbreds?
I do try to go to Keeneland in the fall, in the spring. My favorite time to go, honestly, Tony, is in the fall. I love the fall meets, and the Keeneland track is hosting the Breeders' Cup this fall. And so I'm hoping to get to go watch the Breeders' Cup run this fall. But, yeah, I've enjoyed going to Keeneland. It's a beautiful track. They've made a ton of upgrades to the facility, and it's a lot of fun to go spend the day there.
I got to ask you this. What kind of crowds do they draw for Breeders' Cup?
Oh, it's huge.
That's
They roll out the red carpet for this thing. Yeah, they roll out the red carpet for this thing. It's going to be the biggest event of the year at Keeneland, there's no doubt. But they will pack that place. The general admission section down in the pit, you won't be able to stir them with a straw when they run that thing.
I love Keeneland. It is the Wrigley Field, in my opinion, of horse racing. Where Chris Burke lives over there in Louisville, that's a fraudulent complex compared to Keeneland, in my humble opinion. But that's just me. Darren, is there anything else you'd care to add on the way out? You've been incredible today.
Appreciate that. Guys, I just look forward to the weekend. I think it's going to be a fun series. Look, this is an important series for both teams because I think where you look at where the two teams are in the standings, whoever comes out on the short end of a 3-game series is going to have their back to the wall and be in some dire straits to make the tournament. They'll be in must-win mode. So this should be a fun series because both clubs, I think, really need it to firmly position themselves to be in the field of 64 come Memorial Day. So this should be, it's two rivals. There's a lot on the line. This is going to be a lot of fun this weekend, guys, and I'm looking forward to it.
Darren, you're a gentleman and a scholar, both at the same time. I appreciate you. Much love to you. Have a great call this weekend. I can't wish the Cats great luck, but I hope you execute flawlessly this weekend, my friend.
Tony, I appreciate it. It's always great to be on with you guys, and we'll see you this weekend. Thanks so much.
Yes, sir. Have a Dwight Gooden, my friend. Great Darren Hedrick who joins. Hey, Matt, are you proud of me when he mentioned the Breeders' Cup for not bringing up the other story we were just talking about? Because I really wanted to insert a joke in there.
Yes, that's very, very mature of you.
Thank you. Because I wanted to say, what I wanted to say to Darren Hedrick, and I didn't want to pull him into it, is, will Mike Vrabel be having a horse run in that? John, do you find my humor sophomoric?
Very
or is
much
it lowbrow? Or is it both? Which one, John? Am I sophomoric or lowbrow, John? Which one?
Oh, both. But you are funny.
Okay.
The
I
thing
am?
is with
Okay.
you, Tony, you don't know how to.
Yeah.
You don't self-edit. So.
Oh, no. There is
yeah,
no
there's-
self-editing.
Huh?
No, Laura's looking at me. She's driving. We're on our way to Nashville. She's driving me, and I'm. She said, first of all, I feel like Beano on the Garden State Expressway. I'm like giving her directions on. She's weaving in and out of traffic, and she's like, I'm not Beano. We're not on the Garden State Expressway. She just told me that. And then Beano screamed at me one time, John. We were driving outside of New York City, and he says to me, to the concert goers out there, we were right outside of the Homedale Amphitheater, just on the tip, shall we say, of New York City. If we're still on that, well, never mind. But back to the story. Beano looks at me and he goes, "You're the worst driver in the world." While we're on the air, John, he said, "I'm not going to take driving tips from you." He screams it at me while we're on the air, John.
Well, I could see that because you're so easily distracted and you jump all over the place. That brings to mind a conversation we had recently via phone.
Yeah.
I don't think you heard a word I said.
Hey, Matt, do you believe that the Vols get 2 out of 3 this weekend after talking to Darren Hedrick? And do you buy what he's cooking, which is one team essentially is going to knock the other out this weekend or come really close to it?
I wouldn't go that far just yet unless one of the teams gets swept. But I'll be disappointed if Tennessee doesn't take 2 out of 3 because Kentucky, like Darren said, they have a bunch of injuries. They don't have great pitching.
Yep.
And Tennessee's actually got a team that can defensively can match up pretty well with them as opposed to years past. It'll be the ultimate test this weekend. But no, I think Tennessee matches up well, and the expectation I think should be to take 2 out of 3.
We come back on the other side. Oh, cannot lose a series to them,
Alabama
Matt.
to begin league play, which no surprise, Alabama can't field anything on the infield, and they've lost every series since then. But they've avoided being swept, which is why they're still in the conversation to sneak into the tournament.
And to Matt's point, when Alabama gets to the postseason and hosts a regional, if they can host a regional, because they're so bad on defense. You know what they look like, John? It looked like Tim Banks is our defensive coordinator last week when you watch him in Lindsey Nelson Stadium. I mean, I was looking for one of our linebackers in the middle of their outfield, John, out there in poor spacing. It was unbelievable, Andy.
Well, I'm sure Tim Banks will do a good job for Auburn this year.
So Jude the Dude today, Jude, hey Jude, wrote a piece today over at tclub.team that Danny White or somebody near him's already read. We were checking the IP this morning. Somebody inside Tennessee's athletic department, Jude, has already read your piece. So shout out to you. Matt Diskin has a tremendous look back at Tennessee's baseball weekend that might have SOS'd Tennessee's season, might have saved our season, so to speak. Also, I think it's been done for a couple of weeks. I've been on there telling you I'm not worried about it. I've never worried about it. We've never wavered. Jokey, 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 jokey is getting ready to, I think, come home to Papa. And we'll talk about all that. Plus, do we believe Tennessee got in their own way, maybe not from Diane Rossini, but do we believe they got a tip on a quarterback that might have been looking for a tip? And that's why they stayed out of it. I'll ask John that. Because we've been behind the scenes here in Tennessee lore, in this business, everybody that kind of covers the Vols or attempts to has been asking that question. Here's the thing we knew last year, early in the Sorsby Derby. His parents moved here. That was a fact. They love it here. They reached out to Tennessee and wanted to see their son play here. And Tennessee, for whatever reason, not only didn't they bite, they didn't really show interest. Which Throaty wrote Friday, which we were wondering about Friday. And now one has to answer the question, was Josh Heupel playing 3D chess, or was he just choosing not to play? And we'll go around the room with the panel here and ask what the panel thinks of that. And I'll ask you as well at 865-200-5402. And then, do you believe that when it comes to this young man, once he completes his rehab, should the NCAA allow him back in to play quarterback and give him a second chance and forgive and forget? Because there are 5 million reasons for him to want to get back in there, and I'm not sure what kind of NFL prospect he is. So there are 5 million reasons for this young man to want to seek forgiveness and earn forgiveness from the NCAA, and should they? As we continue with more, continue right after this.
It's the hottest post-game show on the planet. Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
Big news, Basilio family. Get ready, because the 2026 Knoxville real estate market is officially shifting into high gear. All signs are pointing toward a record-breaking year, and the energy across East Tennessee is absolutely electric right now. Whether you've been dreaming of finding that next home, looking to capitalize on your current equity, or ready to dive into the investment world, the timing has never been better. Having a game plan is the key to winning in this fast-paced market, and I'm ready to help. Give me a call, Jennifer Morris, at 865-694-5904, or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Got a plumbing or HVAC problem at home? Whether it's an AC that won't cool, a furnace acting up, a clogged drain, or a water heater problem, Pipe Wrench Home Services is ready to help. Right now, when you schedule any HVAC or plumbing repair, your service fee is waived with the completed repair. That means expert help fast without the extra cost just to show up. Our certified technicians will quickly diagnose the issue and provide reliable solutions to make your home comfortable again. And with our same-day service guarantee, you won't be left waiting when help matters most. For more than 20 years, homeowners across Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and surrounding communities have trusted Pipe Wrench Home Services for dependable comfort. Schedule your repair today at pipewrench.com. Same-day service guaranteed, or the visit is free. Service fee waived with completed HVAC or plumbing repair. Restrictions apply. Visit pipewrench.com for details.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
When a dangerous, overgrown, or storm-damaged tree is threatening your home, your car, or your family, don't risk it. Call ECR Total Landscapes, your local tree cutting experts. From precision tree removal and trimming to emergency storm cleanup, ECR Total Landscapes has the equipment and the experience to get the job done safely and efficiently. Call today to set up your free estimate, 865-384-2012, or just go online to ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama Zizi approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and Zizi.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols!
Basilio here, and you know my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair, and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's National Award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery. So you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from me. Online at carnesmotor.com, Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Heading up the plateau as we speak. Shout out to the great Watson Brown, who will be with us tomorrow. We're going to be live tomorrow at the Musicians Hall of Fame in beautiful Nashville. I'm fired up, folks, and prepared to spread the message for them and spread the word and just see all that incredible stuff. I'm going to mark out. It'll be a mark out moment, and I'll be an absolute mark. And I'm really marking out for the brilliance of Josh Heupel right now. Hey, John, how you and I have talked down through the years here about, because I've asked you, you're a world-class columnist, what's kept you here? And you say, well, first of all, it's an incredible place to live. True. And then when you do what we're doing, there's a never-ending sea of material to deal with. One of the louder scandals broke yesterday at Texas Tech, and we happen to know there's a Tennessee tie to it, which is just remarkable that there's a Tennessee tie to it. So my question for you is, John, and I'm going to ask Matt the same thing, and I'm as a living ball fan this. When it comes to this deal, do you believe that Josh Heupel, when he chose, and Tennessee football chose not to get involved with that last year, when the family was trying to get involved with him, but they chose not to get involved with him, do you believe, John, that Tennessee knew something about this young man's behavior? What you think? Is John there? Did I get lost?
John.
Am I lost?
Matt.
John's lost. Okay, good. I'm up on the portal and John's lost. Okay, I mean not the portal but the plateau. Matt, do you believe Tennessee knew something?
I mean, maybe there were hints about it, but I would probably say no. although my argument would be that he probably just got too expensive, but they also went after Ty Simpson and Sam Levitt as well.
Right,
and Levitt's
that's right. Who were in the same price
injury,
range.
So. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, maybe so, because it was kind of odd that you had the tie to him with the family moving here, and it seemed like maybe a schematic fit to an extent, but they never really were involved. I just think his girlfriend went to Texas Tech, and that they were still tossing money around down there that they were going to outbid anybody. Maybe Tennessee just decided to pass there, but there could be something to that.
Here's the thing, and I'm just going to say this out loud. No matter how the cookie crumbles, you have to give Josh Heupel credit for staying away from him. Here's what I mean. When Josh Elander righted the ship and won 2 out of 3 over the weekend, he got help from Alabama. But you still give him credit. Last night, my Flyers got beat on an absolutely one of the flukiest goals you'll ever see. A guy basically dumped the puck in behind the Flyers goalie, Dan Vladar, and it bounced off the boards in a weird way, and it hit Vladar in the back of his leg and went into the goal. I mean, that's exactly what happened. It was crazy looking. Guess what? The Penguins get credit for the W. I give Josh Heupel, who I think needs to be a lot more active in the portal and needs, if he wants to be here in 5 years, needs to start going harder in the portal. But I say right now, before you, that I give him 100% of the credit for staying away from that guy. Just like I would give him 100% of the blame for not going after the guy if he went onto the field and performed last year. We have to be consistent on this show. I choose to be consistent when it comes to Josh Heupel. Is John Adams back with us, Bry, or is he gone forever? I don't mean to be dramatic.
John, say
here,
something.
Let's damn. All right, so John's gone.
He's hooked
Matt,
up, but he's just not hearing for some reason.
Yeah, he's just not cooperating. Maybe unplug it and plug it back in again, Bry. As I ask the following question to anybody listening, and John and Matt, and if you want to get in 865-200-5402, as I'm making my way on the other side of the plateau, are we still going up, or are we on the other side of the plateau? We're on the plateau, and we've got 5 bars of connectivity on a cloudy day. Go! So, let's see here. All right, so 865-200-5402. All right, Matt, here's a question for you. Once this young man completes his counseling and he goes through and does that, okay? All right, you're the NCAA several months from now. Are you letting him take the field? You clearing him to play?
I hate it for him, but I don't think you can, because he bet on college football games that, and I think you said it was Indiana when he was still there, redshirting. Like I just don't think you can go down that road. You have a kind of an open, an obvious case here to make an example out of him, and unfortunately, there has to be somebody, and he can be that kind of test case for that, because I mean, the rules are kind of the rules there about gambling on your own sport, and especially on your own team. I just don't think they can let him play.
The other thing I want to kick around this hour is, now that Juke Harris, by the experts, I love the Trilly guy. You can't get him 100% right. You just can't. There's a million athletes out there. You just can't get him 100% right. But Nega Dave was wearing me out the other day. Trilly has him gone. I said, Dave, he doesn't know. And this is part of what Tennessee has wanted. They've wanted things obfuscated around this guy. It's what they've wanted. But it's going to work itself out. The kid's eventually going to play here. The kid's eventually going to be there in the morning for you, Michael Jackson. Which is a very good vocal performance for Michael Jackson. Got to be there in the morning. I bet John Adams likes that tune. John, am I right or wrong that you're a fan of that tune?
Wrong.
Be there in the morning.
Wrong.
Wrong.
Yeah.
All right. You a fan of Michael McDonald's music?
Not really that aware of it, no.
Keep forgetting we're not in love anymore. Taking it to the streets. Any of the stuff with the Doobies. What a Fool Believes.
No, none of that.
What about Dolly Parton's music? You a fan of hers? She's going into the Hall of Fame tonight. You a fan of hers?
Yeah, great writer.
And a great singer and a force of nature and one of East Tennessee's finest who just turned 80, who I love and have served all these years. And she's served us all these years. John, do you believe that, because I'm giving Josh Heupel the utmost credit for staying away from this young man now, because I believe in the spirit of consistency we have to do those things. Even when you're a head coach and let's say they didn't know and he just got lucky here, I say you give a coach credit for a lucky victory.
I
right?
think that's no. I don't agree with that at all.
Oh,
I mean, why should Josh Heupel get credit if he didn't know anything about this guy having a gambling problem and he doesn't go after it? I mean, Josh Heupel, if he thought if everything was on the up and up here and Sorsby had no issues off the field, then he should have been pursuing him. I mean, he's a really good quarterback, and I think he would fit this system very well, unless Heupel saw things in him that he didn't like on the field. But no, that's ridiculous to give him credit if he didn't know this guy had a gambling problem.
Well, Matt Diskin, I say you got to give the man credit because if they would have pursued him, if they would have signed him, and if this story would have broken, we would be on here blasting Josh Heupel today saying, why would we get involved with a guy that has this issue? True or false? We would have been saying we should have known about it, which I'll bet you Texas Tech fans are saying, Matt. I'll bet you that's what Texas Tech fans are saying today.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I assume so. Yeah, whether that's right or wrong, that's exactly how fans would treat it. So you kind of got a little lucky if you just didn't pursue him. But I'd be surprised if there were hints of this out there, and like Tennessee was the only school that knew about it. But it was kind of odd that he was kind of linked to Texas Tech early, and there was really nobody else kind of that he was considering. I don't think.
I believe that I kind of go along with Matt's thinking on that, Tony. I think that if there were word out on Thorsby, a lot of schools would have known about it. It wouldn't have just been Tennessee. Why would Tennessee have known something as inside as that? I just don't see that.
I mean, who knows? I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing this illustrates, though. You really, in the portal, don't know what you're getting. There's no way of knowing. And at the NFL level, they have private investigators look into everything. At the major level, they have private investigators look into everything. There's a guy, what's the fella's name, does reporting. Pablo Torre has a former president of the Marlins on a podcast with him I watched over the weekend. Completely fascinating. The guy says, newsflash for anybody that goes into a baseball stadium, We have cameras on everybody, everywhere, at all times, except in the bathroom stalls. And here's the reason why. If you go in and you want to slip and fall in our stadium, we're going to have camera on you, and we're going to tell you how many beers you drunk, how many lines of cocaine you did in the bathroom. He's very cold about it. Very cold about it. He said, and I got news for you. When it comes to these professional athletes, we have private investigators as well that will get all kinds of information for leverage when it comes to negotiations when we're sitting across from people. He said, you can call that whatever you want to call it. He said, but that is a fact of life. It's a fact of nature. It's the truth. And, John, if I'm going to spend $5 million on you in free agency, why shouldn't I hire a private investigator to look into who you are?
Oh, I agree. That's a huge investment. You should do that. And you know what? I think after this, that's what you're going to see. I mean, these schools, if you can pay that kind of money to sign a player to an NIL deal like Sorsby got or Sam Levitt got at LSU, you can afford a private investigator. It just makes good business sense. I think it will be a wake-up call. Schools should have already been aware of the possibility, but I think it's a real wake-up call for them now. Tony, we talked about this off air before the show in our preparation meeting. I think it's really interesting what Texas Tech does now. I mean, we're talking about a national championship or at least a playoff contender every year with the money Cody Campbell provides the Red Raiders with, their mega billionaire booster. What does it do now? It's got a problem. Its backup quarterback is coming off a torn ACL injury. He won't be ready at the earliest, they say, third game of the year, maybe. Here you've got this high-priced roster, and you don't have a quarterback, really. So what does Texas Tech do now? How does it remedy this situation? What do you think it will do?
They're going to take a blind transfer. That's exactly what they're going to do. They don't care.
Okay. That's tricky, though, because that's based on what we had. If somebody's not in the portal, didn't enter the portal, and you acquired them, you're dealing with it. This becomes a legal case.
Well, here's the deal. They tell the NCAA behind the scenes, either this kid has already entered rehab, and when it's over, you either reinstate him and tell us you're going to reinstate him, or we're taking a blind transfer. Because in either case, we're going to see you in court. Because I want to know how the NCAA learned about this kid's gambling. I want to know how the legal term for that, discovery. I want to know how you discovered this. I want to know by what means you were able to acquire this information on a young guy that's under our employ that we're going to say, once he comes out, is ready to play football. And I think that's what I would argue if I were them. Now, I'm all for redemption 1,000%, but I'm also for consequences. That's why I think that this Mike Vrabel guy, who felt so destroyed by what he did to his family after having an affair that only lasted, 6 years. And probably we're only talking about in those 6 years, based on the photos that are out there, probably only a couple hundred encounters with that lady. I would bet you, and he felt so badly that he decided to sit the third day of the NFL draft out. I would bet you that's the route they're going to go. But I'm going to tie this into this whole thing with the Sorsby thing gets back to this. Integrity of these sports, which I think the integrity of these sports is kind of fleeting. I think we're almost in the sports entertainment deal anyway. It's ironic that when you turn on ESPN now or in the run-up to WrestleMania that they had these sports entertainers on television, and I love wrestlers. I think that Bianca Belair's from Knoxville, I think these are wonderful, incredibly well-tuned athletes, but that stuff's predetermined. Here's the thing about college football. When you've got as many guys gambling as we do, what's to say an offensive tackle doesn't miss a block late in the game to get a ball strip sack fumble so that his bet can cover a bet, or whatever it is, or maybe offshore he has some sort of prop bet on something, or quarterback has some sort of prop bet on something, and I'll throw a ball to another team. We have no idea.
Tony,
we have no idea.
Tony, something you said though, this about how this is really crucial. I think. How did the NCAA learn this? Go back to Sorsby's previous team. He was at Cincinnati. He signed an NIL deal with Cincinnati. And then he reneged on that contract, and Cincinnati was upset about that. I think somebody there at Cincinnati knew about that. It could have been a teammate. And
I'll tell you that's incredible. I mean, that's an interesting thing. A teammate or somebody else inside Cincinnati's apparatus that got burned could have tipped.
Yeah, because
could have tipped off the Lee.
How odd is it that, I mean, obviously he played at Cincinnati, but you have Sorsby because apparently he was gambling on like balls and strikes of Reds games. And then you have the Alabama coach who had his buddy betting at Cincinnati's baseball stadium. Like the two big gambling scandals have both been at Cincinnati, where there's, it's like a Bet MGM thing, like across the street from where a Pete Rose statue is. There's just so much irony there that both of these kind of centered in around Cincinnati Reds baseball.
Yes,
it gives
and every time we bring hang on, go ahead.
Well, it gives you meaning to the term "big red machine."
I love that. It also has an Eric Waddell tie-in because every time he comes on our post-game show, I'm gambling how wordy he's going to be. That's the wordiest dude ever, man. I love you, Ewad, catching strays. But the question Matt brought up or John brought up, which is an interesting question, how'd the NCAA find out about this? Somebody had to tip them off. It's interesting.
It's not like the NCAA has all these investigators out there anymore.
They have none. They have none.
Yeah.
None. They are literally as emasculated as Michael Jackson. Tee-hee! Because we mentioned him earlier. By the way, Mike Vrabel, we need to get a playlist up for him when I get back into town. But I want to be starting something. I want to go back to Mike Vrabel, and then I'm going to go to the phones. Why is he still allowed to coach? Why is he still employed today? Why won't the NFL talk about the real story here? And the real story is the use of insiders. And the real story here is what they've done with A.J. Brown. Now listen, A.J. Brown and messing with him is about as easy as me when Titans Bill calls in, sidetracking him on one of his phone calls and getting him off on one of his lists. I mean, that's easy pickings. That's the easiest thing in the world to destabilize A.J. Brown in that Eagle deal. A.J. Brown woke up today unstable. He'll go to sleep tonight unstable. He's the easiest guy in the world to destabilize. What a sleuth online has figured out, and I'm going to link this in the blog tomorrow, is that Diana Rossini, who does the bidding for whom? Somebody want to take a guess on this? Who's she going to do the bidding for? How about her paramour? How about her paramour who she named her child after? Now, do I think that A.J. Brown is a big body, small brain guy that's able to be manipulated? Yes, I do. No offense to him. And do I think that she's the one that spoke that into A.J. Brown's ear and destabilized him? Yes, I do. And how do I know that? Because she's got a Philly background. She also has been, I don't know if you know this or not, but she's been kind of linked, some would say interlinked, to Mike Vrabel now for a little over half a decade, as far as photos go, and it might be even more than that. Who knows? I mean, she might have been fooling around with the guy when he was at Ohio State, for all we know. But she's got a child named Michael. She seems fond of him. All these things. Here's the thing. It's interesting that the team that serves to benefit from this, at the end of her destabilizing, she's the first person that reported this. And John will tell you this. Once you put something in the media, especially one of those NFL insiders, that forces the local media in those towns to drill down on it, and it creates a story. Those insiders, that's why agents give them. That's why the Schefters of the world, they're really useful idiots and they're highly paid use. Diana Rossini made $2 million a year from The Athletic, which is crazy to me, but it's owned by the New York Times. She was now we know she was a real insider. She was we'll just call her an insider's insider. But Diana Rossini, I don't know where Mike Vrabel ended and where she began. Look at this story. She's the one that has broke this story that this guy was upset with the Eagles. And now she's the one that talked into existence how it looked like he was going to end up with the Patriots. John, in your humble opinion, now that that's come to light, do you believe that Mike Vrabel should be still employed by the Patriots while we're talking about Sorsby and whether or not he plays college football again? John Adams.
Well, I definitely don't think Sorsby should be allowed to play football again. I hope he gets help for his addiction, but you can't let him play football again. As far as Vrabel goes, at the very least, the NFL has to do a deep dive into this, a very thorough investigation, and find out who knew what, how long this affair has gone on. They just can't blow it off and ignore it. But I think his job should be in jeopardy, because this isn't about having an extramarital affair. That's not what this is about. It's just what you said, insider information. And I'd like to interrupt your rant to give a shout out to Laura. I can't imagine driving through Nashville traffic with you in the car, just screaming and jumping all over the place in subject matter. She obviously can just tune you out, so she doesn't even.
Oh, she's got the ability to tune me out. She's sitting here. She's not even sold. She hasn't smiled, smirked.
Yeah.
Oh, she just showed me, John. Hey, John. She's got earbuds in. She's got noise-canceling earbuds in. She just showed me. I had no idea. I was so amused with myself. I thought I was going to make her laugh, and I was doing this for her because I like to play to a crowd. Here's the thing. He's a man after Robert Kraft's own cheating heart. Robert Kraft, we know, cheats on and off the football field. Robert Kraft, I'm sure, cheats in life. I'm sure he cheats in business. No offense to Robert Kraft, but if he were going to the grocery store, he would try to get the mislabeled mac and cheese from Kraft that was mislabeled calorie-wise so he could even cheat there. But the NFL wants it to go away. They're a disgraceful organization. I will speak the truth on Fidel Goodell. He ain't fooling me. And this thing that's going on right now is a disgrace in that league, and they want it to go away. And I am on Team New York Post, who held those photos till the NFL draft, and they totally eclipsed the NFL draft's day one with those tawdry photos of that lady and that Eeyore-looking fella. Let's go back to our phones. Let me
wait a minute, Tony. First, let's localize this story. It's got a local connection. Titans Bill. Mike Vrabel coached the Titans. Isn't Titans Bill a big fan of
and AJ Brown started with the Titans. You're right. This is a huge. I want to hear what Titans Bill has to say about this story. Trouble is when we're talking about Texas Tech doing a blind transfer. Texas Tech, according to Nashville Lee in futures lines, is at least a 14-point favorite. Let me read his tweet to you. Texas Tech was projected to be at least a 14-point favorite in every regular season game with Sorsby. Now, that's a pretty big loss for college football if, in fact, they don't let him come back and play. The question is, should they? Let's go to our first caller, and it's ironic. We talk about the circle of life, and we talk about the Ya-Young King, and we talk about things going back into the circle of life. Where did he start? Where did Sorsby start his long journey? As a member of Ryan's Hoosiers, where he apparently gambled on the Hoosiers to win football games, which shows you this young man's gambling pattern. Hello and welcome in, Hoosier Vol Ryan.
Aren't we glad that I am the only Hoosier Vol today, right? Lucky for us, we don't have a Hoosier Sorsby. Hoosier Vol, Brendan?
You can speak on this issue. Do you believe, how does this thing hit you? Obviously, it's a human tragedy for that kid. It's terrible.
Yeah.
I hate it for him. Do you believe that this young man will get back in the good graces of the NCAA, and do you believe he should be able to?
Yeah, because and that's going to be kind of the closing part of my phone call, but I think he'll get the Calvin Ridley equivalent. You guys are more versed in the NFL than me, but Ridley had to sit out a full year, and he got to play after that, right, without pay. So maybe this young man misses 6 games, and that's the Calvin Ridley equivalent. But didn't Ridley openly, and in his brilliance, post a screenshot of a bet he lost online on the NFL? I mean, what's the difference? He's still got to play.
Matt, what is the difference between Calvin Ridley and this? Is there any difference, Matt?
No, not really. I don't think. So yeah, there's been a couple of guys that have been suspended for gambling. That I think it was a 1-year suspension. So that is interesting. I don't know what the rule. I mean, the NFL's got pretty strict rules about all that, and they let those guys back. I mean, the NCAA it's kind of a blank canvas with them what they do with this because they're just not had to deal with a situation like this before.
Here's the problem, though. If they don't throw the book at him and at least suspend him for a year, which takes away his eligibility, it's going to incentivize other guys to continue to bet. So unless they put teeth into a ruling, they're going to be dealing with a lot of this anyway. He's first, but he will not be last. There's no way he'll be last.
Here's the thing with the NCAA, though, Tony. It keeps the NCAA right now has no guardrail. It can't control anything. Now we have an issue that it can control. It can make him ineligible. It can do that. This is a chance for the NCAA to say, "Hey, we want some guardrails." It goes to Congress. It goes to the president and says, "Help us police ourselves because we can't do it." Now, here's a chance to police yourself. That's why I think the NCAA has to do it. It just has to make it where he can't play at all in college football.
Guys, if you bet on Tom Allen to win, how much would you bet on Kurt Cignetti to beat that mid-Alabama team in the Rose Bowl? That's discovery I want to know. What do you reckon his Rose Bowl bet was?
Boy,
I'm halfway joking, but
that's a great
he
point,
bet on
right?
Tom Allen to win. I wouldn't let him play quarterback for me just on that. Let alone gambling.
Well, if you pull your betting slips out and you bet on Tom Allen to win football games, that's
you can't
a good
play
point,
quarterback
man.
for me.
That's a good
and
point.
how much would you bet on Sig to wear out that mid-Alabama team in front of God and everybody? But
don't you also wonder how much time Thorsby was investing in his betting as opposed to preparing for a game that Saturday?
No, and this is going to be my closing, I guess, guys. John and Tony, I agree with so many of your sports points. When he passed away, I called in, and I was very surprised, and I bet you guys know where I'm going with this because I'm from eastern Indiana, close to Cincy. I was very surprised you all still don't think Pete should be in. Doesn't it? It's not even quaint at this point. It's petty because the NCAA, they're going to let this kid play again. Jamie Foxx gets to be on all the commercials before the games.
I don't
Can't
think
Pete
so.
get in the Hall of Fame now?
No. Pete Rose does not belong in the Hall of Fame. Look, he's a great player.
If you were going to let him in when he's alive. But no, I just don't think you can because it gets back to the integrity of the game. If
yes,
people
I agree,
can't
John.
believe what they're watching is real, you got a huge problem.
Huge problem.
Yeah. You guys might be right, and you might be right. This young man might get the Pete Rose problem. I'll throw it to you guys. You're more NFL versed than me. You're telling me this kid wouldn't go in the 7th round for peanuts, even if he gets if someone thinks he can play, even if he gets the Pete Rose?
No, the NFL won't. No, the NFL won't touch him. I don't think.
Well, that's at least consistent. But Ohtani, and I know he's the modern day Babe Ruth.
Yep.
I don't speak English, and I didn't know. Like, oh, really? And that's good enough. Yep, good enough. Move on. I'm telling you, Calvin Ridley got a year. I think this kid gets 6 games, and Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. And how about those Reds this year out the door? How about that?
Reds are off to a great start. Maybe they've taken some of the Phillies' superpowers. Maybe
I still
not
wouldn't
signing
bet on
Kyle
the Reds.
Schwarber. Hey, maybe signing not signing Kyle Schwarber. Oh, geez, you mean to tell 31-year-old broken down guy? I mean, what are we doing? Thank you, Ryan.
Guys,
good talking to you.
Tone, sorry to interrupt. I thought of another one. You talking about the bizarre Cincinnati betting scandals?
Yep.
Do you know who beat the Chicago Black Sox in 1918? I not a baseball guy, but I love 8 Men Out, the movie, a great movie. It was the Cincinnati Reds. See, they threw it to. Isn't that weird?
My gosh, that's crazy.
Wow.
And Ewad's still the biggest gamble of them all on that Garza Law, Tennessee 5th quarter fan reaction. Thank you. It's incredible stuff from Hoosier Val Ryan, who says, what's the big deal here? And the Calvin Ridley thing is interesting. Look, I think the Sorsby deal, and I hate to put it like this, is they got it. The NCAA is going to have to get beat in court in this, and they might get beat in court because how did you acquire this information that this kid was engaged in this? He didn't give it to you. How'd the NCAA acquire it? And did they mind their P's and their Q's as they acquired that information?
But Tony, you can't. It still comes down. This breaks an NCAA rule, and we think of the NCAA as having no rules now.
Yeah,
and that's a constant topic, and the NCAA keeps pleading for somebody help us enforce these rules, help us, and so then it has an opportunity to enforce a rule. I just don't see how it can ignore this.
Hey, Matt, the other complication for Sorsby here, and one of your favorite swimming reporters, what's the guy's name from Louisville, Matt, the swimming reporter?
Oh, Pat Forty.
He did the math last night and said if, in fact, the reporting is true, that Pete Thamel had that he was placing bets at Indiana, he did that as a minor, which was against laws, because you have to be 21 and older to gamble on those apps. So he was doing it under a false pretense, which, as only Pat Forty can put it, because those guys are the Sadducees and Pharisees of life. I mean, I'd hate to go through life as a Sadducee. Those guys, so judgmental of all that stuff. He said he's
tells
engaging.
Me that's not Sorsby's biggest problem right now.
Yes, yeah, and only a guy like him, Matt, could point that out, that he was engaging in quote-unquote illegal conduct. I mean, hey, newsflash, Chief. Do you think smoking a joint is illegal contact or illegal conduct? We're going to put everybody in jail that smoked a joint tonight in Tennessee? What's wrong with those people, Matt?
Just about everything, in my opinion. You know how I feel about those people.
We come back. I want to hear. I want to hear from some more callers at 865-200-5402. Look, you got the Pete Rose thing that he just introduced. I'm consistent. In every locker room in America in baseball, it says don't bet on baseball. I promise you not a mass email, but I promise you emails went out all across college campuses telling these kids, you better not be engaged in this behavior because they're going to get you if you are. I can promise you. And there's going to be meetings all across America in the next couple of days. I feel sorry for this Sorsby kid. People tell me that no, the parents say they're incredibly great people. They love living in our community. I wish their son well. I just don't know if the NCAA is going to let him back. And I don't know if I was the NCAA if I would let him back. You know, our actions, unfortunately, sometimes have to have consequences. They just do. They just do. And for Diana Rossini to lose her $2 million a year job, while Mike Vrabel, who stands to benefit, and the Patriots, they set this thing up with A.J. Brown. You can see it. It is plain as day. John, am I being a conspiracy theorist, or is that what happened there? When you connect the dots.
Well,
she's the first one that talked about it.
Well, yeah, it's your assumption is logical, and sometimes your assumptions are totally illogical. But this one's logical. I'll give you that.
And somebody asks on our chat, we have to go back and check the tapes, but does one of Brian's former Georgia guests, a.k.a. Griff, have a child named Kirby? As we continue with more on the other side after this. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land? Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold, refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a two-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care, I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Tony Basilio here, and I got the great Chad Stockton of FC Alliance 2026. Chad, do you believe we've made it?
Boys and girls teams start off the new year at big national event showcases. We got our younger kids training indoors and doing a lot of things to get better. So we're excited about what the future holds.
Chad, I hear the juice behind you. I hear the kids. Your program reaches throughout East Tennessee. If folks want to get involved, what's the advice?
We're easy to get in touch with. We offer players at all ages, all levels, all experience. We have a program for all of our kids that we have, and we're excited for anyone to join us.
And even some Lady Vols as well. Several college players all over the country, yes?
Absolutely. We had a lot of girls that we were able to watch play in the NCAA tournament. A lot of our former players made big runs through the tournament. We're so excited for them.
Growing the beautiful game. In this, the year of the World Cup in North America, celebrate the beautiful game. Get your child involved. FCAllianceKnox.org. That's FCAllianceKnox.org. And Chad, thank you, man. Keep growing the beautiful game.
Absolutely, Tony, and thank you very much.
Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good. Like our 2026 football Vols, score a T3 TD every time with T3 Vodka, Tennessee's premium vodka. Handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. Right here, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Quality around here isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. And T3's filtered 10 times. 80 proof of vodka delivering a smoothness unmatched. This dedication to excellence has earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades, like a 5-time gold medal award-winning vodka and your SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner as well. Whether you're sipping it neat, on the rocks, mixing your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka, your choice for a premium award-winning experience. Be like Maury Hanks. Score a T3 TD. Ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, and score a T3 TD all 2026 long. Tennessee's Premium Vodka. T3, Tennessee's Premium Vodka. Distributed by Empire Distributors of Tennessee.
Big news, Basilio family. Get ready because the 2026 Knoxville real estate market is officially shifting into high gear. All signs are pointing toward a record-breaking year, and the energy across East Tennessee is absolutely electric right now. Whether you've been dreaming of finding that next home, looking to capitalize on your current equity, or ready to dive into the investment world, the timing has never been better. Having a game plan is the key to winning in this fast-paced market, and I'm ready to help. Give me a call, Jennifer Morris, at 865-694-5904, or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Who's ready for some Smokies baseball? Catch all the action next week with your favorite promotions. Kicking off the week with Cinco de Mayo. Then All You Can Eat Wednesday, Knox Vegas Thirsty Thursday, and over the weekend, we've got Feel Good Friday. And do you like gum? Yes! Well, how about Big League Chew? Good, because Saturday, it's Big League Chew night. Get ready to blow some bubbles, and we've got fireworks. We're closing out the week with our day game, and we're celebrating Mom. Next week's plans are set. Get your tickets now at SmokiesBaseball.com.
TB back with you. I cannot believe we might make it through and not lose a transmission here as I welcome you back. On the one, the only, it's your Tony Basilio show. We're making our way down to Nashville. My lovely bride's doing the driving. I'm doing the talking. We're with you for another, 15 or so. John Adams is presented by Jennifer Morris. Next move, SmokyMountains.com. She's next level. That Cinco de Mayo spot from the Smokies made me hungry for some Mexican. Some Mexican. I like hot food. I like it hot and spicy. All right, let's go back to the phones. And I believe our next caller will add to the intelligent discourse of this hour. No doubt it's going to add to the intelligent discourse of this hour. Florida, welcome in.
Hey, my brother, I got two things for you. Mr. Adams, how you doing, sir? Good to hear from you, Brian. You my boy, you always out there. You a little shady sometimes, but we'll fix you. But listen here, Tony B. Hey, let Pete Rose in, man. Quit playing with that man like that, bro. Listen, he saw things before his time. They gambling now. Let the man in, leave him alone, bro. Let him rest in peace, man. Yeah, you know what I mean? I don't like the hypocritical part of this damn show. Y'all hypocrites. But guess what? Everybody betting on baseball now, football, basketball. Let them go, bro. Let the man rest in peace.
Not guys that are playing, and not guys in the major leagues aren't betting on baseball. Now, I do think the Ohtani thing's kind of fishy. I always like when you get caught. My favorite guy that got caught and reverted and couldn't speak the language was Sammy Sosa. Sammy Sosa went from being able to speak conversant English to going before Congress and go, me no entende. Me no speaky. No speaky. No speaky the English. No speaky.
Is that Bino on here too? But let me tell you this, Tony B.
Yeah, that's Bino. That's what Bino talks like. Yep.
Yeah, my brother. How you doing, Bino? But listen, Tony B.
Good.
Hey, man.
Thank you.
That dude speak English. Any Korea, Japan, I've been all over that place. They know how to speak English, bro. They're not going to come over here and not know how to speak English, bro. They know they don't use it. They don't use their native tongue, but they know English, bro. Trust me. And they cheated. So guess what? If he got away with it, man, put Pete Rose in there, bro. Leave him alone. And the second thing is, Tony B., it's been bothering me so bad, I just had to call in when I heard you talking about it. Mike Vrabel been cheating on his wife for 6 years, bro. Where's the morality and all that? The way they did Sharon Moore and all that other stuff, man. Where's the morality? No, the media's not picking that up. Why?
Well,
the Sharon Moore thing was one of the well, Sharon.
Yeah, I mean, the guy was the total head case. He was mentally off. It was more than just a extramarital affair. I mean, this guy was nuts.
And it was with an underling. It was with an underling at a state school. Now, here's the other thing, though. Here's the other thing. Hey, Florida, you get no argument from me on any of that.
Hey, listen, bro. All I'm saying is, bro, as an extramarital affair stuff, all of it the same. Where's the morality in that, bro?
How about Nate Oates? Yeah, Nate Oates at Alabama. He married a young lady, just married her, that was working for him, who obviously, no offense to him, he was obviously running around with when he was basketball coach. No offense. But that's pretty obvious. No offense.
But Tony B, 3 different women, bro, in 6 years for Mike Vrabel. Oh, come on, bro. Where's the morality? So y'all mean tell me white is all right, but black ain't where it's at when they get caught cheating? Is that what you telling me? Is that the mix? Is that the mix y'all putting out there?
I don't think there's a racial component to it at all, because I think the guy, Sharon Moore, was messing around with an underling who was literally under him in the athletic department. Now, it might have been under him, but under him in the athletic department. Well, Mike Vrabel was
Petrino. Bobby Petrino
got
fired. It wasn't just because he had an affair. It was because he had an affair with somebody on his staff. You can't do that.
Okay, so they can't do it at all if you're married. You can't do it at all if you're married. So that's what I'm saying. Where is the morality of it all?
Well,
no, there is no morality, but it's not a racial issue. Listen, it's not a racial issue, although I'll say this for Petrino. John, maybe where they were prejudiced against him because he was red there at the end when he came off that motorcycle. Well, never mind. So I don't understand, Florida, why we're getting a racial component in this thing. Why are we getting a Sharon Moore? I mean,
if you wouldn't let me explain,
wait a second. No, he disappeared
Moore's
for a
total
second.
Nut job.
Yes, he was going to kill him. Do you not remember?
Listen, I agree with that. But does that make it wrong? Does that make it wrong because he's a nut job and Mike Vrabel is the head football coach of the New England Patriots? You know what I mean? The Boston team.
The story went that Sharon Moore, the Michigan had to alert the authorities because they were worried Sharon Moore was going to go to his house and kill everybody involved and then kill himself. That's a little different than this, Florida.
Come on, man. Now y'all bringing in what he would have did if he could have did it and how he did it and all that. You can't do that, Tony B. This is great conversation. You see how long we've been talking about it? This should have been in the streets, bro. This should have been on national news about Mike Vrabel. And Mr. Adams, you a news guy. You a news guy. You should have been on that. You should have wrote a column about that.
I got some news for you. I'm looking at the Cincinnati Bearcats 2026 season, okay? Last 5 games, lost every one of them. 1, 2, 3, 4 of the losses were double figures. I mean, doesn't that raise a question on how Thorsby might have been betting?
That's my whole point, man. Everybody's betting. You know what I mean? Everybody's betting. So guess what?
Well,
if you're not going to do
player,
it, let the man in.
What?
Can I ask you a question? When Pete Rose was betting, what was he betting on? Was he betting on the win or betting to lose?
Oh, when you're betting like he did, you're betting on whatever you think will make you win. That's posted in every major league dugout. You don't bet on games. It's a rule. You can't do it. It's sacred. And Pete Rose couldn't resist doing it. He should never be in the Hall of Fame.
So let me tell you something. So Pete Rose the only one that got caught. You don't think Pete Rose was the only one that doing it, Mr. Adams? Come on, bro. Let's look at the culture.
But if you can't ban somebody that you think might have been betting. You got to have evidence.
Man, let that man in, John Adams. Hey, listen, it ain't nothing but a little mark on him. It ain't nothing but a mark on him. He's in the Hall of Fame. Did he play? Let me ask you this question: when he played, did he play his ass off for that team? He did.
Oh, you bet he did.
Charlie Huckle.
You bet he did. You bet he was.
I watched him play at Crosley Field when he was a rookie.
You bet you did.
So
I bet on the Reds to win too. I bet.
So that means nothing. That means nothing. So you're telling me that means nothing? How that man
Florida,
coached the game, how he played the game, and come on, bro.
Florida, I love you.
Yeah, we can.
But let me share some of Florida. I got to share some of Florida. When Rapper Andy busted his rhymes and your rap off, which we might bring back this summer at some point if I get bored enough.
Well, that was a rigged deal, and I'm on Florida's side on that one. I voted accordingly.
But hang on.
Thank you, John.
Hang on.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
His lyrics, Rapper Andy's, moved me. Now they moved me to jerking down the jerk. Florida, you didn't make any sense in the rhyme. You're really not making sense right now. You've got Sharon Moore over here. You say it's for racial reasons. When Pete Rose is banned for life,
I'm just saying,
white.
I'm not saying it's for racial reasons.
Wait a second. No. Pete Rose is banned for life, and he's white. What are we talking about? There are no double standards. Here's the thing.
He made a mistake,
this comes down to integrity of these sports, man. You cannot be playing quarterback.
You're going to find a way to win the way you want, where you're trying to win, brother. Whether it be cheating or holding or doing anything, pushing off like Michael Jordan did and that guy from Utah, it's cheating. And the refs see it, they don't call it, brother. Come on, bro. Let the man in. Let's let him in.
Well, Florida, I appreciate
I really
you.
didn't think
you.
we'd be having this conversation today about Pete Rose.
The Players Lounge, I did not think Pete Rose.
Oh, I love
like
watching
Hustle.
Pete Rose play.
Great player. Yeah, brought the Phillies a world championship in 1980.
I went to Cincinnati when he was on trial.
Yeah,
wrote a column about.
Did you
it.
really? Nice. He showed them the way, John.
Well, you need to write a column about me and your disagreement, because guess what? I bet everybody will read it when they hear about it, Mr. Adams. So you need to write one about us.
You know what? I
you're
should have
not the
written a column on. File this one under regret. I should have written a column on how you got screwed in that wrap-off with Andy. That should have been a column.
Yes, sir. That's
Florida,
number
you're
one
out
on
of
the
here.
list.
That was
Stick a
not
fork
fair.
in him. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. Good God. I mean, I've got an Excedrin headache this big because of that moron.
I love hearing from Florida. Tony, let's get back to this. Don't you find that a little odd how Cincinnati closed out the season? I mean, is
No
it
doubt.
out? Is it far fetched to make you to wonder about that?
Matt Dixon, is it far-fetched, Matt, to wonder about that in light of what we know now?
I mean, maybe a little, but that's kind of Scott Satterfield's track record. They invent ways to lose games. He's kind of done that ever since he bounced from Appalachian State. I did see there's a Yahoo Sports story that quotes or cites a Ross Dellinger piece that said that Cincinnati was aware of his betting stuff before last season, because apparently in the Big 12, all their student athletes have to download some kind of app that alerts the conference if they sign into any kind of gambling website or any kind of gambling app. So it does seem like Cincinnati was aware of this, at least in some capacity, last year, to kind of go with what you're talking about, Tone, about who tipped off who in this. It does seem that Cincinnati was at least had some knowledge of this.
That was John pointing that out, because in the history of news gathering, one of the great sources for you is always the spurn party, or the party that has an agenda. Yeah. John pointed that out because I'm sure through his history, and that's just the truth. People that have an agenda are always going to help you. People that want to keep the train going down the track are never going to want to help you. And now you're at a situation where, as we're about to jump out of here, you're at a situation where this thing's going to get really interesting, because now Texas Tech sets it up that they're either going to get the NCAA's word that you're going to let this guy back after he gets out of rehab, or they're probably going to say to the NCAA, if you don't do that through their attorneys, we're going to take a blind transfer. Because their other football player, to Matt's point, their other guy just had surgery. Their backup quarterback.
Well, if the Patriots didn't have Drake May, surely they would draft Sorsky, right?
Well, I mean, I'm not. I got to talk to Diana Rossini about that. See where things lay.
Do you think that Mike Vrabel might have had other, romantic connections with people?
I mean, if you look at Mike Vrabel, how could a woman say no to that? I mean, I want the living listener right now that isn't driving to close your eyes and look at Mike Vrabel. And I want any woman telling me that's out there listening, if you would find him attractive for 5 seconds. And if you do, you might need to seek some help. Because every once in a while I look at myself, I get real tired. I go, man, Tony, you're kind of ugly today. Now, not a lot. Because even on my best day, I'm pretty good looking. Or my worst day, rather.
That photo you sent me of you getting a call from Titansville.
Yeah.
I thought you looked uglier than usual in that photo. I don't mean that.
Well, I get tired. Yeah, I get.
Okay.
We get tired. We kind of, can look all
I know.
drawn out.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this: even on my worst day, I'm better looking than that damn Mike Vrabel.
I would agree with that.
That son of a gun looks like a face you put on the top of a scarecrow to scare people, to scare all the animals out of your garden. But anyway, on the way out, I want to thank John Adams. I love him. I love Matt Diskin. You can read him today at tclub.team. Brian Hartman pushing the buttons today with the greatest of ease. That's going to do it for us. 2 and 2 tomorrow. We're live at the Musicians Hall of Fame in beautiful Nashville. We'll be holding it down in the state capitol. Our first ever Nashville program. Maybe it won't. Maybe it'll be the first of many to come. Maybe we'll have a great showing and we'll be forced to come back and do it all over again. In the meantime, I love you. I appreciate you. William Pattison in the playbook on the way next.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Well, Tony, I thought the Colts did a